Hello dear students. So let's move on to the next chapter, that is second chapter in chemistry, common laboratory apparatus and equipments. So this entire chapter will be dealt in chemical laboratory itself. So this is chemistry is a subject where we conduct a number of experiments, and as we all know that science is one subject which gives us practical proof. Unless and until we see, we hear, we feel, we touch, science as a subject will not give any of the acceptance. That is what in this chemistry we will deal with. And today in this chapter we are going to discuss completely about what is chemical lab and its infrastructure and what all the equipments are kept in the chemical laboratory. First of all, we would like to know that what is chemical lab. Many of the experiments are conducted in controlled conditions. What are these controlled conditions? Most of the scientists, they have dedicated their achievements or their discoveries in different manner. So most of the experiments are conducted in controlled conditions like temperature, pressure and volume. That is what we call it as parameters. So even chemical laboratory is in a controlled condition where while conducting experiments certain precautionary measures has to be taken. So here we are in chemical laboratory of Manasa International School. So this is the most interesting and exciting chapter. You need to know what is chemical lab and what are their equipments. First let's start with one of the activity here. So here I have taken a glass that contains of water, filled with water. I have taken some of the grains, that is green gram. Okay. So this is an activity to show that the lighter weight of any of the substances will float on the surface of the water, whereas the substance which has weight will sink down. You can observe here the green gram which has a weight, it has sink to the bottom. All the green gram is settled towards the bottom. Whereas only one grain which is of lighter weight is floating on the surface of the water. So what does it indicate? The substance which has mass, it has a gravity pull towards the earth, and whereas the substance which is very lighter weight, it has there are many air space in that, and even quality wise it's not good, that particular gram will float on the surface of the water. And this is the best method where the farmers will use while sowing the seeds. They need to know which is a good quality seed. As we know that what we sow, so shall reap. That is, however the quality seeds we sow, so shall it reap, isn't it? So this is a thing, and even here you can observe this. The green gram which is of lighter weight is on the surface of the water. So what do the farmers do is, they just collect the handful of grains and they soak it. Okay? When they soak, few of the grains or pulses or whatever it may be, whatever the crop they want to cultivate, some of the food crop, it will float on the surface of the water. So that they just separate it with the fine quality seeds which have the strength for the germination. They take that seeds and they start sowing in that plant. That is their land, which is a cultivated land. So this is one activity. And one more activity we have to know the difference between the temperatures, with the hot water, cold water and ice cubes. We shall conduct in the next class. So let's move on to the next topic. We just discussed about the chemical laboratory infrastructure and what all the equipments are placed here. First and foremost, I would like to introduce what is working table. So this is what we call as working table. Okay. So each student or every person who works in laboratory should wear this apron. This is called as apron. This is a precautionary measure while conducting some of the experiments. We should be very alert when you enter to the chemical laboratory. It's not like you are entering to the amusement park or any of the other places where you will be very careless. This is a place where you should be very careful because you are handling with chemicals. Some are acids, bases, some solutions, some of the indicators, reagents, etc. So dear students, it's a first precautionary wearing this apron before entering to any of the laboratory. And this is what we call as a working table. It is equipped with a shelf. Okay, this is a shelf, and here all the which in the next coming days we will study in detail about how it is made up of and what are its measurement and what is its structure and what are the uses. This is called a conical class. So meanwhile there are many things arranged here. This is the reagent shelf. Next we have sink. Our entire chemical laboratory is provided with sink. So what is the function of this sink is, whenever you are conducting any of the experiments, you will just turn on the tap and flowing water only you will discard any of the solution. Because some reactions in the chemistry they may be vigorous. The fumes may come and some of the all of a sudden burns may cause. So that's why our chemical laboratory will be provided with the sink for each table. And it is already, you should understand that the water always should be running while discarding the solution, not while conducting the experiments. But whenever you want to wash or something like that, it should be on and then only use. So we have well-equipped laboratory here. So many of the reactions will conduct in future. So coming to next, we have the test tube stands. This is called the test tube. This is called the test tube, and the test tube are placed in the test tube stands. All these glass apparatus are made up of borosilicate glass. I repeat, all the glass apparatus are made up of borosilicate glass. The speciality of this glass is it can withstand high temperature and as well as very low temperature. If you take ice cubes also, ice water which is of 0 degree temperature, even that will withstand. And also if you take boiling water also, it has at what temperature this glass is manufactured, to that temperature it can withstand. So usually in the laboratory we prefer borosilicate glasses so that even if there is some heat experiments and all, this glass will withstand and overcome and it will sustain and we get the results. So dear students, this is an introductory class for you for this chapter, that is common laboratory apparatus and equipments. Meanwhile, in the next classes we will come to know how to handle each and every apparatus of the chemical laboratory and different apparatus details and what is the name and how to handle. I hope, dear students, you have understood that only one activity what we have conducted, just to sort out the grain, which is very good quality seeds, and the pulses, whatever it is, and which is inferior quality to float on the surface of the water. So just watch the video and refer the textbook. Definitely we will meet in the next class with different colorful experiments to make your subject very interesting. Take care. Bye.